Alright, and we are back with Sly 2. We finished Chapter 1, but before we move on to Chapter 2, I collected all of the bottles and world loot off screen, so we'll be opening up the safe before we leave.
I see. I wondered why we were still here.
Yeah. So yeah, we saw the safe in Dimitri's office in this little area earlier. It's interesting that they left the peacock sign smashed into the fountain. You can see that earlier, because typically it's understood that when you go back to a chapter after doing the heist, you're sort of like going back to right before the heist happened.
Oh, that's interesting.
At least that's how some of them you have to rationalize it.
Yeah,
I'll typically try to show off new abilities, but I don't always do it, partially because some of them are not always all that useful.
Yeah. Like, that just seems like an extra step.
I mean, it'll, instead of them jumping right back up, they'll be knocked out on the ground for a bit, you know, stunned, but yeah, I never really use it. It's not the most useful. Just now on to Chapter 2.
Yeah, just a heads up to anybody.
Another clockwork part had surfaced in India, so the boys and I loaded up the van and zeroed in on our next target. A mysterious spice lord known as Rajan.
Spice Lord.
A self-made man who grew up poor on the streets of Calcutta. He started his life of crime selling illegal spices in the black market, eventually growing his small outfit to a sizable operation, and earning himself a seat in the prestigious Claw Gang. He's since crowned himself Lord of the Hills, and while he goes to great lengths to convince others of his royalty,
soon see that spice plays a pretty
himself.
important part in this game.
True to form, he's holding a lavish ball in his newly purchased
controls the
ancestral
spice.
palace. The reason? To show off his latest acquisition, the Clockwork Wings. The symbol of my enemy. If you saw the wings silhouetted against the night sky, it was already too late for you, especially if your name was Cooper. Rajan believes displaying the wings will bring him prestige, and maybe they will, but they're also bringing me.
So what were you saying?
Oh, just, I share an office with a brother, so if you hear him come in and out, pay him no mind. He's cool. It's whatever. It's easier than editing around that, because, it's either that or move my entire setup to another room, and I'm just not feeling that today. Because then I have to move the router, and gosh.
Yeah.
Turnbuckle launch. Isn't that where you kind of spin them in a circle?
No, that's actually a super jump.
Oh. It's been a while. The last time I heard the word turnbuckle, it was a Game Grumps bit.
So, lost my train of thought there. Oh, right. Each new chapter, there's a new set of power-ups, one for each character that you can buy. So, and they increase in price over time, so you really need to get a lot of loot.
A lot of pickpocketing.
So in Sly 1, I believe they also had the Blue Sparkles to indicate places where you could, you know, climb on stuff or jump on stuff, but they didn't use them for everything, like hooks, and I want to say maybe pipes? But for this one, they're like, nah, if you can interact with it, it's got to sparkle, even if it looks weird.
Yeah. If I recall, if you hit the water, does Sly, like... Actually, no,
Yes.
this game doesn't have the horseshoe thing like the first game.
It does not. You just lose some health. Yeah, Sly is yet another character with super drowning skills.
Super drowning skills.
That's the technical term. Yeah, Murray and Bentley too, despite being a turtle.
They're hydrophobic, all of them.
So do I do it here? No, I do not. Yeah, so we got a nice environment here. We're like on the edge of the jungle, but in a massive Indian palace.
Mm-hmm.
So I would call this the last of the kind of, like, not overly oppressive areas in this game. It's, you know, it's at night, but it's fairly warm colors, you know, it's meant to be a nice place to live, you know, and to throw a swinging party, and but we're gonna get a couple of chapters in a row where things are a little bit less fun in terms of just the feel of the environment.
This is less of a place of living and more of a place of strictly business as time goes on, I'm guessing.
More of like, wow, this place seems like it just sort of sucks to be in. Like, it's still a fun game, but it's like there's a long stretch of the game where it's like, wow, the environments are kind of wearing me down here.
Looks like the wings have been welded onto that statue.
I mean, that's a statement, having robo bird wings behind your throne.
Yeah. Seems like something Gridley would do if all the bird magic birds weren't all dead.
He looks significantly goofier in his model than in the animation.
Yeah, he looks like you know, those sun bears that look like humans in bear suits.
And we're getting some previews of later enemies.
Oh.
See, a bunch of other Claw Gang members have shown up to the party.
Another Claw Gang member. Arpeggio specializes in exotic technology.
What was...
Yeah, fade cut there, because you can sit around here for a long time waiting for people to come into
that
view.
makes sense.
Prison warden for Interpol. She must be working undercover to expose Rajan's spice ring.
So yeah, that's the Contessa. She's a part of Interpol, and Carmelita actually mentioned her in the prologue.
I bet she's quite popular on the internet.
Carmelita's here too. She must be undercover with the Contessa to help.
I know for a fact Carmelita is incredibly popular on the internet, but that's because furries are a thing that exist.
Yep.
Leela, another officer undercover. Watch yourself, Sly. This party is crawling with.
Well, at least Nayla kind of has your back.
That's all the photos I need. Bring them back to the
Yeah.
house, and we'll start building a game plan.
Yeah, she could very well be handy for this job. Although we don't really know where the Contessa stands quite yet.
Right.
Stealing the clockwork
Man,
wings
the footage
in
of them
middle
going
a
back to the
crowded
safe house like that
ballroom
looks
is going
wonky.
to take some serious misdirection.
Almost
And
like
the
they
squad of
recorded their
undercover
TV
cops
screen.
only makes things more complicated.
I mean, it has
Although,
the same, like,
we might be able to
filter
use them
that
to
these
our advantage.
screenshot or
But no
slideshows
matter
have.
what we do
that's
in
why
the
it looks
ballroom,
weird. Okay.
sooner or
Yeah, it's
later
it's
we'll
a
need
it's
to deal
FMV
with
on the
Rajan's
PS2.
security chopper.
Oh my gosh.
Murray can take it out with some of the local
Yep,
armament.
that
But he
helicopter
won't be
hovering
able to get
above
inside
the palace.
until
Yeah,
Sly
blow
lowers
that
the
up.
drawbridge for him.
This place seemed old world until that helicopter showed up.
I mean, hey, you know, old world aesthetics, new world technology. So this is interesting. So as you can see, the drawbridge is down. So first, Sly's the only one who can actually get into the temple or do anything beyond like this
Right.
little area. So first, we have to do a job to lower it so that
Yeah.
Bentley and Murray can get in. But first, a small detour.
They really did a good job making those elephants kind of imposing. Do they kind of stampede you if you give them the chance?
If you go into their searchlights, guards jump out and attack you.
Okay, because
But
the
I don't
elephant,
think the elephants themselves can.
the elephant itself looks kind of imposing. It reminds me
All right.
of... Oh, we
So
got the
here's another
timing
piece
one.
of Here's another piece of world loot, a new mechanic. I alluded to it earlier, but as you can see, there's a small bomb on there, and we have a limited time to get it back to the safe house, where I assume Bentley can immediately disable it.
That's interesting, and also incredibly spiteful for whoever owns that.
So I think I used some abilities, one in particular, a lot more in this playthrough than I had ever before. But still, a lot of them go pretty much unused.
Did this game have concept art galleries and junk like that?
Probably somewhere. Like I said, I believe it's... if you hang on the chapter select screen on the odd numbered levels, I believe an icon comes up where you can press it and then it triggers a video.
Okay, that's cool. Because, like, a game like this, I feel like would have had a lot of pre-production art.
Sly, Murray and I can't get inside the palace unless you lower the drawbridge.
I think one of the videos even shows, like, pre-alpha footage for Sly 1.
That would be weird to see.
Taken up position
It was quite interesting to see what it looked like way back when.
back to the lockdown.
Yeah. I don't know why, but Sly gives me an Uncanny Valley vibe with his facial mocap for, like, his lip sync. It's very... Like, Murray and Bentley, they look animal enough that you kind of don't worry about it, but Sly looks just human enough that it's kind of weirdly unsettling. Maybe I'm just crazy. Anthropomorphic design is... I don't know, there's a lot to it. It's nice that it has a percentage meter every time you do a thing. I wish more games did that, honestly.
Yeah, it helps when it shows, you know, your progress. Or, oh, you mean overall percentage when it does the auto save?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that's nice.
I would kill for that for Prime. Or any, like, Metroid game for that matter.
I mean, it technically does because there's 100 pickups and
Right.
Each pickup is 1%.
That's true. One of these days I need to bite the bullet and play Prime 3 again. I only played through it once.
So yeah, some of these missions have you running across the entire overworld to get different enemies, and yeah.
They did a really good job with the color scheme here. The yellows and purples are really nice.
So that's my first use of smoke bomb and all solar powered glory. But you saw how like erratic that flashlight movement was.
Oh yeah.
The thing about stealth games is
yeah.
that you need to be able to predict enemy behaviors, otherwise it just turns into a guessing game. There's no skill to it.
Yeah. Or you could be like the Arkham series, where the developers made it so if you're tailing behind an enemy, they will not turn around. Or so I've heard.
I mean, in general, they don't turn around unless they're like really scared, and at which point they're probably doubling up. Oh, so right here, you're supposed to hit that gong to get him to move, but I accidentally alerted him with a fight, and so he's doing his own thing. I'll come back and get him later. Yeah, they like to have these sorts of missions early on in the chapter so you can get the lay of the land.
Yeah. You know, before we started this, I was tempted to get an HD texture pack if this game had some kind of hack for that, but honestly, it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Although I can't help but feel like there's just a little bit of PS2 motion blur in here, but oh no.
Yeah.
It's interesting to think that waterfall is just geometry, probably, with a moving texture.
Probably.
Mario Galaxy 2's water textures are crazy. Like, the way games handle water is always fascinating.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of the Arkham series, Arkham Knight's water was real impressive.
Oh, really? I need to go back and play that game. I played it years after City, and so I was just super rusty, and I'm like, I don't have any momentum left.
I didn't play Knight until years after it came out, mostly because I didn't have a system that could play it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time I played it, I wasn't too impressed with it. I was like, eh. But as I've gone back to it more and more, I've only liked it more.
I feel I feel kind of the same with Origins. I feel like that game...
I feel the opposite, actually.
I feel like too many
I've
people
liked it
get...
less and less
yeah.
the last few playthroughs.
I think it gets too much hate, but maybe... I don't know. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I do agree that it gets a little overhated, but I'm definitely not... it's definitely at the bottom of my list now.
Wasn't it even not made by Rocksteady?
Yeah, it was Warner Bros. Montreal.
Mm. It's surprising how many Canadian game companies there are.
Mm-hmm.
Probably some tax stuff.
Maybe. I think several of them are based in Montreal, which, you know, makes sense. It's one of the bigger cities.
Yeah. I mean, locally we have Avalanche Studios. That's a pretty big studio, honestly. Well, are they still considered Avalanche when Warner Brothers bought them?
I believe they are. You know, I'm trying to remember if Disney changed their name.
I'd be surprised if they did.
And then maybe they changed back after Warner. But yeah, they made...
No, I know for a fact Disney didn't change their name because...
Okay.
I took two tours of it as a kid, and that's when they were making the Cars 2 and 3 games.
That's right, I was there too, and they were
Yeah.
still Avalanche then.
Man, I wish I had a photographic memory because I saw a lot of stuff under NDA that I wish I could remember.
We're incapable of breaking it simply because we don't remember.
Oh, I thought you meant like because we signed the NDA, we can't remember it.
No, like we couldn't break it even if we wanted.
Yeah. I just mean it would be nice to see what, like, actually, because there's so many things in game devs that, like, never see the light of day, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, nice pen.
So typically, there's types of loot, and there's 3 tiers of each. So, you know, bronze pen, silver pen, gold pen. The smaller guards, the ones without flashlights, will typically hold the first 2 tiers, the lower ones, and then the flashlight guards may have either the second or the 3rd tier.
Is it possible to grind for loot, or not really?
Oh, yeah. Enemies respawn very proactively here. You just leave an area for a little while, and they'll come right back, and it's just a random chance whether they'll have loot or not.
Mm-hmm.
Now Murray and I can access the palace grounds.
And nobody cares that it's open.
Yeah, nobody's gonna winch this back up at any point.
Okay, so Murray's the one who takes down the chopper. Makes
Yep,
sense.
he's the for some reason he's the man tasked with manning the turret. But first we're gonna head into the ballroom.
It's funny that the silver ring has the 1 diamond and then the gold ring has the 3.
Mm-hmm.
Little consistent design.
The bronze ring doesn't have any at all.
Ah.
So yeah, typically bronze doesn't have any jewels, and then there'll be like 1 on the silver version, and then 2 or more on the gold version of whatever it is. Like I think that's how the combs work as well. Yeah, there it is.
Hmm. I had a dream. I found one of my old ring boxes. I'd like to find that ring box. My brother made me a ring from like his jewelry class. Really wish I took that in high school.
Hello,
Would have been fun.
I'm here for the dance.
Yeah.
Subtle.
Huh? Sorry, sir, but we have a dress code. You got a tuxedo?
No.
Sorry, pal. No tux, no entry.
I like to imagine what animal that bouncer is.
Well,
Sorry, Sly.
it's probably one of the
Somehow I
guard
totally
types.
overlooked the need for formal
Yeah,
wear.
probably like one of the
That guy's
elephants.
not going to let you
One of the elephants.
Oh no, sorry, one of the rhinos. Those are the flashlight guards.
Right, I just... I mean,
try the guest house.
Yeah, elephants don't get to be anthropomorphized in this game.
yeah. Well, in the first game, wasn't there an elephant that was like a person?
Oh, I'm trying to remember.
I probably just created a memory where none exist.
I don't think that there were any areas in the first game where there would have been elephants,
Yeah.
because it was like England, then
Two
the
places
US,
in America.
then Haiti, then
Oh, wait, no, yeah, you're right. That was Haiti. And then...
it was China, and then Russian volcano. So yeah, there wasn't really any opportunity for elephants.
It's a regular goofy Pluto situation.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember our last playthrough, I made a joke about, I believe, Slide destroys thousands of dollars worth of fancy suits in here.
Well,
Yeah.
I recommend searching all the rooms. It's statistically probable.
Yep, our plan here is to rush in here and hope that people have some spare tuxedo pieces that also happen to fit Sly.
Part of a tuxedo.
Any plan which involves ransacking is okay with me.
Is Sly canonically wearing a mask?
Yes, you can see the little bits of the mask on back.
So does he not have the raccoon pattern without it?
He does. He just also wears a mask.
That's funny. You ever worn a tux before?
Like a full tux with like the cummerbund or the vest or whatever? I don't think so.
Being in band for 6 years, I had to have a cummerbund and a bow tie and
Yeah, I'm not sure I've ever worn a bow tie since I was like 5 years old. And
Nice.
like a clip-on one.
although one time, man, my band teacher in high school was a bit of a stick in the mud, and out of stress, I forgot my bow tie, and I was like, well, shoot, he's not going to let me perform on stage without it. So what did I do? I went to the band room, got a piece of paper, made myself a paper bow tie, and colored it with a black Expo marker, and he was none the wiser. I can't believe that actually worked. Oh, man. It was more comfortable, too. I mean, playing a wind instrument with something tied around your neck is not exactly easy. You'd be shocked how much your neck expands when you use one of those things. An instrument, that is, not a bow tie. Although...
So you actually can leave this, hotel sub area and not quit the mission, but there's no reason to.
Right.
And I forgot that.
My brother's the only one who's had the full tux, though. I never had the one with the tails, like the fancy coat jacket.
So helpfully, Bentley will tell you if you've already ransacked a particular room and found the clothing piece.
That's convenient. I wish more games had quality of life stuff like that. Oh, man. I hate that those searchlights permeate through solid surfaces the way they work.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I was kind of in his line of sight.
Yeah.
I think this is the one where I had some trouble finding
Attack it here.
where it was, so I crossfade.
Triangle button knocks guys up into
Ugh, I would hate to live in, or like use this as a bedroom. Like the way the bed like is just next to that door.
I think it's a
and-
very Indian thing.
I see. So much property damage. Unthrows your pillow.
Yeah. I took a while before I finally realized, oh yeah, it can be in those luggage carrier things.
Oh,
there.
I thought you were just breaking stuff for the heck of it.
No, you just you break stuff in the room until you find something, and it's always hidden in a place where you would logically place clothes.
That's handy. Because, yeah, otherwise it just has the vibe of, like, the compulsion in Zelda to cut all the grass.
Yeah.
Oh, silver medal.
Why they're hanging out with this stuff in their back pockets, I'll never know.
Yeah. They almost look like little... Not even like a fanny pack, but like a... I don't know. They don't really look like pockets. They look like those little satchels that sometimes Link has. Specifically Twilight Princess, I think. Of course, his have little clips on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, if my sister were to play this game, she'd be obsessed with breaking all the things in the room. Back when she played Wind Waker, she was just like, I have to cut all the grass every time. I have to do it. And I can't blame her. Now that
I keep breaking all of the stuff hanging up there, even though I know that there's nothing hidden in those.
I should really try to get that Wind Waker multiplayer mod up and running. Dying to know how that... I had gloves. Dying to know how that works, but we'll see how they built it. Ooh, that's bad luck, Sly. No, I'm not a superstitious person. If anything, I do a superstitious thing, or I do the opposite out of spite.
Walking under a ladder.
Mm-hmm. Just because I'm like... I think every superstition has, like, a rational, like,
Yeah, like
percent to it.
walking under a ladder is a bad idea because someone could be working on it and like have a paint can up there or
Yeah,
something.
or like breaking a mirror is dangerous because it's very sharp.
Those glass
Yeah.
shards.
Unless you want to mitigate the damage and catch him on your tongue for good luck. Ah, Willie. Ah, look at all the shards of glass. I'll catch him on my tongue for good luck. Ah! All right. Oh, man. What were those riders on? I just realized a lot of these rooms look the same.
Well, yeah, I mean it's a guest house, sort of like a personal hotel for Rajan to show off. Obviously, they're not all going to be custom.
Airbnb and Bali. I've only done 2 Airbnbs in my life, but they were both pretty nice. Kind of
Never tried
awkward,
it.
though. I don't know. It's always I don't want to... This is someone's house, so I feel awkward just being here kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, one in
Always
San
go
Diego.
for the flashlight guards. They're the most troublesome.
Yeah. Whack. Nice.
That's it. Now that you've got a complete tuxedo.
So this was an interesting way that they structured this. It has the ballroom dance party job. You go there and they're like, no, you can't do it. It drops you out of the job, spawns this one to steal the tuxedo, and now that we've gotten it, we can now go back and do ballroom dance party for real
Yeah.
this time.
I think that's good.
Like they never do that again where they sort of play around with starting a mission, oh you can't start it, and then pick it up later.
Because half of every good heist is having your plan go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Only to find
And I
out that was the
believe-
plan. Yeah.
I believe that something goes wrong in like almost every one of these heists. Like last time, we did not plan for Dimitri to be down there and for us to have to fight him.
Hmm. It's a very awkward position to be in, Sly.
just gotta make sure that I'm not gonna get immediately spotted.
Right.
Right before I get immediately spotted and glitched out a little bit and launched me off the thing, so I just cut back to here.
Yeah. I remember the days before I used to edit videos.
You got your tuxedo now, sir?
Of course I do. I'm here to dance.
Then come on in.
Fortunately, we have a dressing room in the foyer.
Yeah. I'm curious though. I think that's bad. Huh.
Perfectly. No one will recognize you in that outfit. Now,
Not taking off the mask though.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Also, I like the PNG guess.
the only problem is she's picky about dance partners, so you'll need to impress her first.
All right, I know just the girl for the job.
For some reason, we have to dance with Carmelita during the heist and not just Neela.
Do I know you?
I used to chase after you back in Paris.
Paris? Sly Cooper? You aren't by any chance here to turn yourself in? Old Ironsides would fall out of her dress.
As good as that sounds, how about a dance first?
Enchanté.
Yeah, now we have a little dancing mini game here.
Try to memorize the steps. Now your turn.
Pretty simple.
Yeah. Reminds me of Peach dancing with Tech in Paper Mario.
Reminds me of dancing with Rapunzel in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh, you do that? That's fun.
Yeah, they got the dance scene at the festival in that one.
Does Sora take place of Flynn Rider in that?
Are you using
No, Flynn's there as well. Although,
Yes, I am.
they did a thing where they kind of fumbled it. They just wanted to show that Sora's a good friend to Rapunzel, but in a couple of scenes, it almost seems like there's more of a romantic connection building between Sora and Rapunzel than between Flynn and Rapunzel.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with these self-insert... Oh, you stepped on our foot, Sly. But yeah, when you have these, like, self-insert characters, how you don't totally, like, botch the character dynamics. Because, like, Sora's, like, what, 16?
Yeah. I think by Kingdom Hearts 3 he's 16, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a problem that Kingdom Hearts has been dealing with since the beginning. How do you just insert Sora, Donald, and Goofy into these stories without having their job just be to keep the story on track and prevent the Heartless from derailing it? At which point they feel pointless. Or you come up with an original story, which
Nice.
they're important, but now
Yeah.
it's just not as good of a story.
I'm just thinking of the Big Hero 6 part, where it's like, Sora can save Tadashi, but Goofy's like, no, Sora, it's a canon event. Oh, you haven't seen Spider-Verse, the sequel, so you wouldn't get that joke, I think.
I haven't seen the second one yet.
Yeah,
no.
but the joke being like, I don't know, like, don't Donald and Goofy talk about having to protect the world order or something?
Yeah, but exactly what constitutes meddling and what doesn't is never very clear. It's like, we go into these worlds and mess things up all the time.
I mean, the
Yes.
very fact
There
that
is always a
these
crowd.
worlds are
Yeah.
connected, I think, is
Your friend
supposed to
here is quite
imply
an
that's not
accomplished
supposed to
dancer.
happen.
I
But
tried to make him look good. Please, Neela.
And there's supposed to be
Skills
walls that
far
keep them
surpass
out,
me.
but
Perhaps later you and I might share. a
I don't know.
dance.
The Kingdom Hearts universe is kind of a
Miss
mess.
Fox. Carmelita Fox.
yeah, a lot of the
And
lore
I accept.
has been all over the place for a long time. So now we've earned a dance with Carmelita later.
Okay, so you can come and go from this dance.
Come and go as in like in the story or in gameplay?
I mean, I assumed you do all the dancing at once. So I'm surprised you can
well,
leave.
we're gonna be dancing with Carmelita during the heist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we gotta distract everyone while we steal the wings. That's the turnbuckle launch. It's probably Murray's most useful ability.
Yeah, it looks handy. I know Vinny of Vinesauce would call it the constipation jump, like he does for Mario 2's like crouch jump.
Yeah.
Aren't there a couple 3D Mario games that have that jump? I want to say...
I mean, there's where you can crouch and then do like a backflip.
Well, there's that, I guess, yeah, but I feel like... I want to say 3D World had a, like, extent, like, you could charge it up. Could be wrong. I wish we could get a group of 4 friends to play that in full. I feel like it's just not the same without that setup. Double jump. The most unrealistic
I'm actually
thing.
not entirely sure how you're meant to get up here without turnbuckle launch. I think there might be like a spring, or a spring equivalent around here they use. And I believe this is our first turret section.
Future aerial operations while on this job.
Yeah, it's all covered in missiles and guns and stuff.
Now be a team player and take it out with that rusty pre-war turret.
Okay, I had a potato gun once. I'll bet it works just the same.
So, does that imply that there was a World War II in Sly's universe? I mean, it would have to, because
Yeah.
it's basically our world, but with anthropomorphic animals.
Yeah.
So now I'm just imagining what that was like.
Oh boy, you could go all over the place with that. Although, who's to say their World War I and II were the same thing?
Yeah.
That is a tricky thing with fiction of like, this is our world but X.
How does that affect past things? Like, typically you just don't mention it and be like, it's fine. But then you mention it and you open up a can of worms.
Yeah.
Like with Harry Potter.
Oh gosh, you mean how Fantastic Beasts 2 literally made it so the villain was trying to prevent World War II.
Yeah, and it's like, so wait, we know that World War II happened by the time of the main series, which means that the wizards didn't do anything to stop
No,
it.
it's even worse than that, because he somehow uses some magic to see the future, says, hey, look, the Holocaust is going to happen, and, like, nuclear bombs and stuff. We should, we need to put the Muggles in line before they do this. And then the people are like, oh, we can't let him do that. And it's like, what? I don't know. It's just very... It has, like... I know that
the writing was not exactly on point in that film.
It's the common problem of when you make your villain too sympathetic, and then you have
I understand why he's doing it. Oh, I think I really understand why he's doing it.
And then it's like, quick, we have to make him, like, murder a baby off screen to show that he's still the bad guy. That's not hyperbole. That's literally what happens. Like, it's those movies are bad. I mean, the first one was so fun. That's the problem. Like, they had a chance to do something really Doctor Who-like, and they didn't do it.
The balance you want to have is you don't want your villain to be right. You want him to have a point.
Right. You want them, like, they can think they're right, but yeah, or their methods can be bad, but yeah.
Yeah, it's like the one EPA guy from Ghostbusters. Everyone's like, oh, he was completely right. No, he had a point. He had a point that maybe we should be looking further into the Ghostbusters.
Right.
But he took it very personally and started very much overreaching.
Yeah, and ironically, creating the very problems he was trying to prevent.
Mm-hmm. So.
Well, that chopper's exploded.
Yep.
My plan to get at the Clockwork Wings requires the use of the electric winch above the ballroom. To get control over the device, I'll need to hack the computers in
tech.
Rajad's boardroom. Plus, we'll need an extra strong saw blade to cut the wings off the statue. To make a saw blade that durable,
So
I'll
Bentley's got the
slice
plan, just
till the
gotta
gems off
get a
the
few things for it.
headbreasters on Rajad's prize elephants. And finally, I'll take to the field with my remote control helicopter and nullify the palace's surface-to-air defenses.
There's a
That
lot
should
of
clear
remote
things up for
control
the night.
gadget stuff in these games.
I would say it's before drones, but I've looked into it, and they used to have, like, helicopter drones before they had quadcopters. Oh, well, I did not expect the part to be over so soon.
Yep. We'll see you in part 4.
Bye-bye.